I will now call the meeting to order. I'll have the city town clerk take the roll.
Saban,
Here.
Douglas,
Present.
Hurt,
Present.
Rodriguez,
Present.
Singh,
Here.
Rodriguez,
Here.
Roth,
Here.
Kupo,
Here.
Decker, Festa,
Here.
Haywood, Antunes,
Here.
Santana,
Here.
Costa, Santiago, Crespo,
Presente.
Ortiz,
Present.
DeCola,
Here.
Edwards, Clyburn,
Here.
Winter,
Here.
Morrison,
Here.
Walker Myers,
Here.
Hamilton, John,
Here.
Rakim,
Present.
Furlow,
Here.
Marks, Wingate,
Present.
Smith.
A quorum has been established. We'll now have divine guidance from order from Ward 18.
Good evening, colleagues. This Friday, New Haven marks its 383rd birthday. Our friends at the New Haven Museum on Whitney Avenue have two special Zoom programs planned. The first tonight marks the importance of the tricentennial. On this day in history, April 19th, 1731, Roger Sherman was born. The man who became New Haven's first mayor and one of our nation's founding fathers, came from a humble beginning. Born in a family of farmers, he learned shoemaking from his father, who early death forced the family to move from Massachusetts to New Milford, Connecticut. Largely self-taught, Sherman had a head for numbers and became a land surveyor for New Haven and Litchfield County. He also studied law, was admitted to the bar, and later elected to Connecticut General Assembly. With his wife Elizabeth, he had 7 children, and when she died, he moved to New Haven in 1761, where he opened a shop on Chapel Street with his brother-in-law, and immersing himself in the life of our city. Sherman served as the Justice of Superior Court and Treasurer of Yale College. In 1775, on his 54th birthday, the shot heard around the world was fired at Lexington and Concord. 7 days later, Patriot Benedict Arnold demanded the keys to the New Haven Powder House and departed the city with the second company, Governor's Foot Guard, to join the cause for freedom. Roger Sherman would go on to represent Connecticut in the Continental Congress. Why is Sherman notable? Connecticut founding father, patriot, and statesman, was the only person to sign all foundation documents of our new nation: the Declaration of Independence, the Article of Confederation, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. Sherman served on a 5-man committee that wrote the Declaration of Independence, was almost the most significant delegates to the Constitution Convention. As a representative and senator in the new republic, he played an important role in drafting the Bill of Rights. Debate over the proper scope of the national government's power. The Connecticut Compromise, which he co-authored, gave the nation its 2-branch government. Sherman was a lifelong opponent of slavery and proponent of freedom religion. Sherman continually opposed slavery, because he believed all humans were made in the image of God and should be treated with dignity. As a judge, he ruled on 7 notable cases involving slavery. That an enslaved man named Jack Azba was enlisted in the Continental Army in 1777 as a substitute for the owner's son. After Azba was honorably discharged, the owner sought to reclaim his property. Azba was jailed in New Haven, where he appealed to the Superior Court for writ of habeas corpus. He was later freed. Sherman, who never owned an enslaved person, also helped craft the 1784 Connecticut law that put slavery on the road to extinction in this state. With his second wife, Rebecca, Sherman had 8 more children. His descendants followed his principles and ideas. Most famous is his grandson, Roger Sherman Baldwin, who, with John Quincy Adams, argued the case for Amistad captives before the Supreme Court and secured their freedom. Roger Sherman served as New Haven's first mayor from 1784 until his death of 1793. He is buried at Grove Street Cemetery. The Union League Cafe now stands where Sherman House once stood. John Adams called him one of the most sensible men in the world. Today, Roger Sherman is largely forgotten. He never became president, and he's yet have a musical written for him. But he was always in a room where things happen. He played an extraordinary role in creating of the American Republic. So today, on his 300th birthday, let us remember this great statesman and Connecticut founding father. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now have our Black and Hispanic Caucus State of the City address by none other than our Aud from Ward 20, the chair of the Black and Hispanic Caucus.
Caucus State of the City address tonight. If we were in the chambers, I would ask all of you to stand, but since we are not, I will simply say thank you, and thank you. Last year has been extremely tough on our city, especially on the communities of need. And while there is light at the end of the tunnel, we are seeking that light. Despite the challenges of last year, our communities have stepped up like never before. Out of necessity, yes, but more importantly, out of love one for another. When someone did not have food, our communities stepped up. When someone didn't have masks, our communities stepped up. When someone didn't have faith, our communities stepped up. No matter the challenge or circumstance, our communities continuously stepped up. We exemplify the saying of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Despite the terrible impact of this pandemic on our communities, we kept moving forward. While our partners stalled on their promise, we kept moving forward. We will press them to ensure that they deliver on their commitments. Our city is in need of faithful and true partners. So we thank those that have stepped up to the plate. Now, we invite the others to join us today and act as our neighbors have and show love, compassion, and mutual concern for each other by sharing resources for the betterment of us all. Nearly 60 years after the March on Washington, we still must remind America that it has yet to deliver on its goals of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And while we do so, we will keep moving forward. As the saying goes, without struggle, there is no progress. Well, on behalf of the caucus, I am here to say that we are tired of the struggling. Let me say that again. We are tired of struggling. I know struggle personally. My parents was killed in a car accident while I was only 3 years old. And then I suffered abuse mentally, physically, sexually, and spiritually. So I know struggle. And now we all saw it. This past year, we saw our neighbors struggling to survive from every type of abuse, had their situations made much worse by a lack of support for the challenges still here due to hundreds of years of systemic racism and our society collective inactive to address it. I understand in the 1960s and 70s, New Haven was called a model city for redevelopment. I'm asking now that New Haven be called a model city to abolish systemic racism. I'm calling on New Haven to be called this model city again by abolishing systemic racism in our city. And also, we also saw this year that when there is the will, there is a way. The federal government made funds available to over 100 million residents in the matter of weeks, delivered vaccines in a matter of months, and plan to pass $1 trillion infrastructure jobs bill shortly. So we know where there is a will, there is a way. As a caucus, we know that for there to be sustained progress, it must be institutionalized in policy. Our young people, their allies, and many of our own caucus members took to the streets to demand the end of police brutality. We took that energy from protest to policy. We declared racism as a public health crisis. We moved on climate change. We moved on foreclosures. We moved on inclusive zoning. We moved on affordable housing. Read my lips. One job should be enough. So we will keep on moving protest to policy to end this job crisis, to get more residents into apprenticeships and programs that lead to careers that pay a living wage. There are several leadership positions in our city that make determinations and decisions that impact our residents. We believe that New Haveners should be prioritized when filling these positions. This is one way to advance our vision for a more just New Haven. CELA means pause and calmly consider that. The state and federal government will be providing our city with the most significant infusion of financial support in recent memory. As a caucus, we are committed to making sure that these resources get to those in need. We will do our part. We will not stop pushing for our people. We will not stop pushing for our youth. We will not stop pushing for our elderly. We will not stop pushing for our sick. We will not stop, because there is no progress where there is no progress until our residents with lease who are negatively impacted the most have their needs addressed. Until then, our fight will continue. We will not keep silent, nor will we stand by and be complacent. As I had to fight to not let being abused paralyze my mind, my will, and emotions, and take ownership of my power, including my right to choose forgiveness and love over bitterness and fear. We call on you to fight together with us for progress. The only way to accomplish these things is if we do them together. We cannot sit back and be comfortable having only part of our city thriving. No longer will we ask to be treated fairly. We must continue to produce policies that will result in what we need. New Haven will not be the city we all can be proud of until we see the neighborhoods of needs go from surviving to thriving like other parts of the city. Selah, pause, and calmly consider that. Now is the time to get involved. Now is the time for your voice to be heard. Now is the time for us to approach the challenges as a city. Now ask yourself, are you ready to fight and keep on fighting until justice is won? This is our mission. So if the answer is yes, we invite you all to join us on our mission to bring good jobs to New Haven residents, to improve public safety, to support quality affordable housing, to support health equity, to contribute to vibrant communities, to stand for environmental justice. As the old saying goes, if you do not stand for something, you will fall for anything. In closing, let me say, our caucus will not let our communities fall for anything. Selah, pause, and calmly consider that. Because we stand for these things. We ask that you stand with us now also. Thank you. God bless New Haven, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we would like to say thank you to the residents and the mayor for attending. And we will have a 5-minute recess, and we will be right back to continue with our business. Thank you.
Mhm.
I will now call the meeting back to order. We'll have the city town clerk take the roll.
Saban,
Present.
Douglas,
Present.
Hurst,
Here.
Present.
Rodriguez, Singh,
Here.
Rodriguez,
Here.
Roth,
Here.
Pupo,
Here.
Decker, Festa,
Here.
Haywood, Antunes,
Here.
Santina,
Here.
Acosta, Santiago,
Here.
Crespo,
Presente.
Ortiz,
Present.
Dakula,
Here.
Edwards, Clyburn, Winter,
Here.
Morrison,
Here.
Walker Myers, Hamilton,
Here.
Marchand,
Here.
Rakeem,
Present.
Burlow,
Here.
Marks, Wingate,
Present.
Smith.
A quorum has been established. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President, and good evening. I move approval of the Journal of the April 5th, 2021 Board of Alders meeting.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Are there any corrections to the journal? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask unanimous consent on item number 1 from the Tax Collector Order of Tax Refunds, April 19, 2021.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Mr. Majority Leader.
Move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask unanimous consent on the following items. Item 2, order concerning real property taxes of Idisha Abitsid concerning motor vehicle tax account numbers 888-231, 80067, 50253, and 50217. 3, order concerning real property taxes of Terry Jackson concerning motor vehicle tax account numbers 915715, 915176, 932672, and 932673. 4, order concerning real property taxes of Tasha Kelly concerning motor vehicle tax account numbers 86534, 796841, and 796842. 5, order concerning real property taxes of James Hill concerning motor vehicle tax account numbers 795745, 811912, 827822, and 827823. And 7, order concerning real property taxes of Robert Franklin concerning motor vehicle tax account numbers 859432, 876723, and 893450.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Mr. Majority Leader.
I move these items.
Second.
These items have been moved in second. Discussion, I call on order from Ward 16.
Thank you, Madam President. These 6 petitioners have asked for our assistance for us to be able to waive the interest, and they'll be paying the taxes in full. We're going to receive a total of $3,800 if it's approved by this body. So I would urge my colleagues' support. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of these items say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed, Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask unanimous consent on items 8 and 9 from the Health Director submitting a resolution authorizing the Mayor of the City of New Haven to apply for and accept a grant award from the United States Office of Assistant Secretary for Health and the Office of Minority Health in the amount of $4 million for the period of July 1, 2021 to June 30, 2023, and to implement evidence-based health literacy strategies that are culturally appropriate to enhance COVID-19 testing, contact tracing, and other COVID-19 mitigation measures, and to execute, acknowledge, implement, and deliver any and all documents as may be considered necessary or appropriate with respect thereto. 9, from the Health Director submitting a resolution authorizing the Mayor of the City of New Haven to apply for and accept a non-competitive grant from the Connecticut Department of Public Health in the amount of $508,000 for the period of May 1, 2021 to August 31, 2021, and improve health equity by removing barriers to the COVID-19 vaccine, and to execute, acknowledge, implement, and deliver any and all such documents as may be considered necessary or appropriate with respect thereto.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Majority Leader.
I move these items.
Second.
These items have been moved in second. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed, Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under communications, I note items 10 through 25. Under first readings, I note item 26. Bringing us to second readings, item 27. Under automatic affairs favorable, I move items 27, A through D. A, order the Board of Alders approving the appointment of James Badari Alexander to the Democracy Fund Board. B, order the New Haven Board of Alders approving the appointment of Doreen Abubakar to the Environmental Advisory Council. C, order the New Haven Board of Alders approving the reappointment of Victor Fasano to the Solid Waste and Recycling Authority Board. And D, order the New Haven Board of Alders approving the reappointment of William Augustine Jr. to the Solid Waste Authority Board.
Second.
The items have been moved in second. Discussion. I call order from Ward 13.
Thank you, Madam President. On Monday, March 22nd, 2021, the Aldermanic Committee met. The appointees who were required attended the meeting and spoke before the committee regarding their desire to serve the city. The committee favorably recommends these appointees. I urge colleagues to vote favorably to support them as well. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes, Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Item 28 under Health and Human Services favorable. I move this item. Resolution of the New Haven Board of Alders authorizing the Mayor of the City of New Haven to apply for and accept a non-competitive grant from the Connecticut Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services in the amount of $36,000 for the period of April 1, 2021 to July 31, 2022, and to conduct academic detailing for prescribers and pharmacists, and to execute, acknowledge, implement, and deliver any and all such documents as may be considered necessary or appropriate with respect thereto.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 26.
Thank you, Madam President. Honorable colleagues, I ask for your favorable consideration of this resolution authorizing and accepting a non-competitive grant from the Connecticut Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services in order to conduct academic detailing for prescribers and pharmacists and to execute on the implementation and deliver documentation. This department will hire employees to work with doctors' offices around pitfalls of prescription drugs. This item will be a great support to our residents, and the committee favorably considered the item, and I ask that my honorable colleagues of the full board does as well. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Item 29 under Public Safety favorable. I move this item, resolution of the Board of Alders of the City of New Haven authorizing the mayor of the City of New Haven to submit an application to Federal Emergency Management Agency for $895,455 with a 10% match of $81,405 to replace a 23-year-old pumper with a new quint, and to establish such funds if offered, and to execute all documents and contracts as necessary.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 12.
Thank you, Madam President. The Federal Emergency Management Agency Assistance to Firefighters Grant offers funds for other resources to communities to aid the local departments in fire prevention and response. The city is applying for this grant to acquire funds to replace a 23-year-old fire pumper and to add to the fleet a new modern piece of fire apparatus called a quint. The addition of this would make our city and our fire personnel much safer. I ask your support. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? I pass, Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under miscellaneous, I move item 30, motion to amend a matter previously adopted from Alder Morrison submitting on behalf of the Livable City Initiative a motion to amend LM-2017-0218 to change the expiration date from April 15, 2019 to April 19, 2022.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. Call on order from Ward 22. And before that, I would like to note the record that order from Ward 11 has joined us. Order from Ward 22.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an item that LCI is requesting an extension on the date that we voted for back in 2017. A piece of property was sold in my ward, 55 Dixwell Avenue. There are still some things that LCI needs to clear up before it actually can be sold. Once that matter is taken care of, the property will be able to be developed on, and this property will be added to our grand list. And so I ask my colleagues if you can please help the constituent with this extension. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes pass, Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to suspend section 24-1-A of the rules of the Board of Alders to conduct further business.
Second.
The item has been moved second. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes, Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under unanimous consent, I ask you, seeing item number 31, order concerning real property taxes of Gregory Dawes Bilbrin concerning motor vehicle tax account numbers 69967.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Ms. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Madam President?
Oh, I call on order from Ward 16. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, Madam President. I just wanted to ask the support for this body because this individual also would like some assistance with the interest. And if so, we're able to regain $295 of our taxes. And I urge the support. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under unanimous consent, I ask you to see item number 32, order approving the request from Unite Here Local 34 for street closures and special event permits on May 1 from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Prospect Street between Grove Street and Lock Street, and on May 5 from 12 noon to 8 p.m. on Prospect Street between Grove Street and Edward Street.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Mr. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 25.
Thank you, Madam President. This request is for an event that is being planned by Local 34, the Union of Clerical and Technical Employees at Yale. It is scheduled for Wednesday, March 5th. And so they need a special event permit as well as closing the street, that's Prospect Street from Grove Street all the way up to Edwards. In preparation of that event, there is a street painting being planned on Saturday, March 1st. In order to accomplish that, a special permit is required, and also closure of Prospect Street from Grove to Lock Street. And so this resolution gives Board of Alders support to those special permits and also grants approval of the street closures. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion?
Yes, Madam President.
I call on order from Ward 2.
Yeah, there was a mix up on the dates. I believe the colleagues stated that it was March 1st and March 5th. I believe it's May 1st, May 5th.
Okay.
Madam President.
Okay, 1 second, everybody. Use the little, the little hand raise thing. I call on order 425.
Thank you, Madam President. And I do apologize if I said March. I, of course, meant May. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under communications, I note item 33, and I move to close suspension of section 24-1-A of the rules of the Board of Alders in order to conduct other business.
Second.
The item has moved in second. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed. And before a motion to adjourn is appropriate, I will now make points of personal privilege. I will call order from Ward 22.
Thank you, Madam President. I would just like to remind the board and the rest of the city about the Q House Legacy Bricks fundraiser. As most of you know, in the city of New Haven, the Q House, which is located in the Dixville community, is scheduled to open in this summer. And as a part of a fundraiser to support the endowment fund, we're selling legacy bricks where individuals or groups can buy a brick and for $100, and it would support the endowment. And so the final date is Friday, April 30th. And so you have about 2 weeks left. And the website is www.communityfoundationgreaternewhaven.org/Q House. And if you have any questions or issues, you can always call the Office of Legislative Services, and they will be able to direct you. And so thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Board and City of New Haven.
Are there any more points of personal privilege? Call on order from Ward 7.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to mention that this board passed a while back the approval for a painting of the intersections at Chapel and State Street and Chapel and Union Avenue. And those are happening April 24, 25 weekend and May 1st and 2nd weekend. And they need volunteers to paint. And so if anyone is interested in helping, either myself or my colleagues from Ward 1, 6, or 8 could share the link with you and also just come by and see it. I think it will look lovely and help connect neighborhoods. Thank you.
Are there any more points of personal privilege? So before a motion to adjourn is appropriate, I have a point of personal privilege. First, I want to just wish everybody and their family well, because you know the COVID-19 regulations are being lifted, and I think it's important that everybody know that we still have to remain safe. I think that's really important, and I can't just sit here tonight without saying something about how I feel about watching the trial today in regard to the murder of George Floyd. And, you know, it really makes my heart heavy that in 2021, we're still having conversations about why the lives of Black men should be valued. And, you know, it's really sad to have to still continuously be having these conversations about the very things that America is built on and the promises that supposed to be made to everyone, and to have to continually have the conversations over and over is a little bit disheartening. And throughout all of that, I still see, you know, kind of like some light at the end of the tunnel, because I realize and recognize that we have to continuously start pressing for things that's really important. People cannot stand by and watch things happen that is not right. You have to call it out all the time, not some of the time. You have to continuously call out, because the lives of everyone should be valued. It shouldn't matter what you look like, where you come from, how much money you make. Everybody is important. And sitting here as the president of the Board of Alders and being a Black woman, I couldn't just sit here and not say something about it. It's heavy on my heart, as I know there's a lot of other people in our city. So I'm sending good thoughts out to our city. I know it's going to be really difficult when this verdict comes down, because in our experience being Black, we haven't seen it work out the way we believe it should. But I want people to just know they need to hold on, keep pressing, because one day we will get to where we need. It's time now, but we got to hold each other up, because in the city of New Haven, we refuse to be having that conversation over and over and go through the things that a lot of people are going through in the rest of the world. So that is how I feel. That is what I needed to say. Thank you for taking that moment to listen. And if there are no more points of personal privilege, a motion to adjourn is appropriate.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam President? We can't hear you.
Madam President, you're muted.
Well, I wasn't saying anything. I'm saying good night. I'm hanging up. I'm clicking.
Good night. Okay, thank you. Good night.
Thank you. We are
Good
adjourned.
night and thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night.